Welcome to the PJ Hoop Podcast. I'm your host, PJ. And if this is your very first time checking out my podcast, first and foremost, I want to thank you for taking time out of the day to check out my podcast. Today, we got another episode of PJ and Friends. Today, I checked out Ryan. I kind of came across his information on Instagram. I really liked some of his video photography, some of the mixtapes I've seen him doing, and I seen that he was really tied in locally. And so I just kind of reached out to him to try to get him on here. I told you guys that I really wanted to start locally tapping into my local basketball scene. So he's the first kind of person that I came across, and I'm glad you're on here. You want to introduce yourself to the people?
Yeah, my name is Ryan Slider, and I'm a co-owner of a film production company called SS Visual Works. It's started in 2018. So still going strong, enjoying what I do, loving serving the community, and working with a lot of great producers in the area now, because when I got started in this, there wasn't a whole lot. Now there's a lot, which is pretty cool.
That's great. That's great. Thank you for introducing yourself. And I'll leave his descriptions and everything in the descriptions for you guys. I'll leave his links for everything, for all his work, for you guys to go check it out. But honestly, I don't want to waste any of our time. I honestly just want to jump straight into it. So as I said, he's tapped into the local scene. And there's a kid that I came across on his actual page that kind of caught my eye personally. So I just want to start talking about, first I want to ask you about, his name is Ray Peterson. He goes by Big Baby. So his name is Ray Peterson Jr. What can you tell the viewers about him, his play style, position he plays, and what school he'll probably be attending next year?
As far as Ray as a player, he's special. And I think a lot of us have known that for quite a while, being so young yet so advanced in not just the way he plays, but the demeanor and how he carries himself. And I've always seen him playing up in terms of competition against older players, which is a good barometer to see how good someone really is, the type of impact they can make. The proof is really in what people have seen and the way he plays. And he's very, very skilled in multiple different parts of the game. And that's usually what makes a superstar type of player. When you're able to do a lot of things well. And I see that in Ray. I haven't seen someone like that in the Oregon area for a really long time. I mean, you could say Kevin Love, but I mean, Kevin coming in as a freshman was 6'10", and it's a little bit different. You know, he was still extremely dominant, but at the same time, skill-wise, he didn't quite need it as much as maybe others because he was bigger than everybody. The last person really I saw that came in this good at this age was a guy named Tyrone Manlove, who I came up with. He was an NBA prospect as a freshman in high school. And I see a lot of similarities in Ray. He's not quite as big as Tyrone was, but he got the skill, he got the panache, he's talking a lot of mess, kind of right on that line to where it's not going to be, he's not going to be blown or technical or anything, but I really love the way he plays. And really the thing I enjoy the most is how he elevates the players around him, confidence-wise, and just the way that he is able to get them into spots and handle their business is pretty impressive for me. As far as where he's going to go next year, I will kind of stay out of those areas, so I'm not sure. I've heard things. I've had people ask me that before. I really don't know. What I do know is wherever he does go, I'll be a very, strong supporter of whatever he does. I try to do that with all kids that I work with, no matter what they do in their lives. As long as it's positive and something that's helping them build themselves, I'm always going to be there to support. So wherever he does land, you can best believe I'll be there to support him.
Oh, okay. So is he age-wise? How old is he? Like, what grade is he in?
I know he's in 8th grade, and I'm pretty sure he's a valid 8th grader. But again, I'm not 100% sure. All I do know is he's going to be a 9th grader next year, and wherever he goes, I know he's going to make an impact right away. I can tell just by the way I've seen him playing against high school athletes the last couple of years, and he's in middle school. So I'm looking forward to it for sure. I think it's going to be a special time for hoopers here in Oregon to witness someone as good as Ray, along with a lot of the other players that will be coming back next year.
So is he height wise? So is he a point guard? Is he a shooting guard? How tall is
I
he? Do you
think,
think?
yeah, I think he's like around 6'1" or so. I know he's going to grow a lot. His dad's taller than me, and I'm 6'5", and so I know he's probably going to hit a spurt here at some point. But his game is, I mean, his game is really well in tuned already. So I don't see him losing any of that. But I think he's only going to get bigger and better as he goes forward. And he seems like he really loves the game. He loves the approach to the game is in the right place. So I have a lot of confidence in him fulfilling his potential, which I think he's one of them few guys who can do something really special with his career.
Okay. And thank you for, kind of giving us your insight on him. Like I said, I came across him very briefly and I was like, okay, this is somebody I'm somewhat interested in. Cause again, like I said, I'm trying to get more locally in tuned, but let's talk about this past season. Who were some players that you felt stood out? I know I did go to the championship game, the 6A championship game between Tualatin and Central Catholic. So I got to see, I think his name is Jemai Lake. I think that's his name. I got to watch him play briefly in that game. And then I guess there's like two other guards that were on his team too I thought they were really good kids too as well. But who are some players this last year from any grade level, men or women's, that you felt like really stood out?
Yeah, obviously Jemai was the top player in the state, and he showed that all year. And if it's any indication how good he played, he was supposed to go to one school, but ended up going to a school at a quote unquote higher level. And I think he played himself into that type of situation. But the two other people you were talking about on his team, I mean, he had a really good team. And I think one of the guards that they have coming back has a chance to be the best player in the state next year. And his name is Pat Biala Jr. And they got a lot of good players coming back next year. Carter, Lemon, one of the other guards, and Damian, one of their bigs. I like their team. So I'm expecting them to challenge for another title. I know their coach really well. I actually live in the area, so I get a chance to be around them quite a bit.
Do you, I'm sorry to cut you off, but do you, because correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Pat the guy? He's the one that hit the game-winning shot, right? Isn't that the one who hit the shot in the corner? Was that him?
Yeah, Pat hit the two threes in the last 15 seconds or so. That was Pat.
Okay. Okay, cool. I just wanted to clarify for everybody because I did come on here and I did talk about the game a little bit when it happened. So just to give the viewers some insight of, okay, no, this is the same kid coming back. And they'll both be seniors, if I remember correctly. Him and then the Carter kid, they both will be seniors this next year. So that's good information to know.
Yep, they'll be seniors next year. Exactly.
Who were some other players this last year that you felt kind of stood out to you from any grade level outside of those two guards?
Yeah, there's a lot of good players coming back. I think I'll stick to the players that are coming back next year. I know that in the PIL, the inner city area, Grant and Benson went really far. They did a lot, made a lot of noise, I should say. They got basically all their guys coming back, and a lot of expectations. I've heard people think they're going to be possibly number 1 and number 2 in the state when the rankings start next year. So I was very impressed with them. Then you got Central Catholic, Clackamas, Barlow, and the Mount Hood Conference. They're going to be really good. They're returning a lot of guys. So I got a lot of expectations for those programs. I've seen those guys up close, especially Clackamas. I worked a lot with them last year. They got some really good guard play in RJ Barham and Max Martinoff. They're going to be really good next year. They've both made a lot of strides. So Central Catholic is kind of an enigma right now. I think they've lost some of their best players, but they have a lot of guys coming back that are really good. And so I'm expecting them to be good as well.
Okay, that's good. That's good insight. And then so as we shift towards this summer, who are some players that or maybe even who are some players that you feel like may be flying under the radar that could be primed for big summers in the AAU scene?
I think there's this kid named Gavin Loonan from the Bend area who I haven't really seen a lot of because he is in Bend, but I know his dad, who's a great player. He's right around my age, and what I've seen of him and what I've heard of him has been really good. So I think he's somebody that's flying a little bit under the radar just because he's not in the big city, and sometimes that happens. So as far as prospect wise, he might be one of the best prospects in the state, and he's just kind of under the radar for whatever reason. But I think that after this summer, really going out and making a splash, which I think he's already doing it here the last few weekends with his team. I think he's a name that's going to become a lot more prominent in a lot of people's conversations.
So is he somebody this upcoming year? Is he going to be a senior, a junior? And how
I'll
tall is
have
he?
to I'll have to double check. I know he's. I'm not sure of all of his statistics and all that. I know he's a big guy, but he's from video and things that I've seen from him. He's very versatile, and he can finish, he can shoot. I definitely had fun watching just some of the videos I've seen of him. He's a force down there, kind of like his pops was. So I believe he's definitely going to be a junior or senior, but I'd have to do maybe you could do some more investigations on it. But I know he'll be one of the top players coming back around here.
Okay. And then is there anybody else outside of him that you feel like could be flying under the radar? That may be more so
Yeah,
within city limits. Is there anybody?
yeah. I think a couple of my guys over there at Sunset. Uh, I think that they got a chance to do well. Rocco and Shay, uh, they're both coming back, and I think they're going to be good. They were pretty good last year, but I think they got a chance to go further. So those guys there, and I think I would say Benson, but they kind of made a huge impact on last year. So everybody knows they're going to be good. Um, but I would say Grant is just kind of that team that's just sleeping under the radar a little bit, even though they've had a lot of success. But they started 4 sophomores and 1 freshman all year, and all those guys are coming back. So I think they're going to be really tough. And then another sleeper, I really think I actually got two. One is Barlow, who I think they kind of finished, outside of that top two that they usually finish in, or top three. I think that they're going to be really good and surprise a lot of people because I think everybody's favorite in that conference, Mount Hood, is either Nelson or Central or possibly Clackamas. But I think Barlow's kind of flying under that radar, and they got a great coach and a great set of players that are coming up. I think they're going to be really good.
Barlow, interesting. And then there's a point guard because didn't correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't ParkRose win the 5A title?
Yep, they won 5A.
Okay.
That's a great point because I mean, if they competed in 6A, I think that they would go pretty far too. They're a really good squad for sure. They got some of the better players in the state there.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wanted to get your thoughts on I think he's a point guard. Um Dang, I'm trying to remember what his name is.
For Park Rose,
Yeah, I think it's a point guard. I think this last year he averaged like 17 a game. I
might
forgot
be,
his name.
we might be talking about Keon Gates. Um,
Yep, it is him. Yeah.
he's their main. He'll be their main guy coming back this next season, and Keon's one of those special talents for sure. Got a lot of different skills in his repertoire. Worked a lot with him in the past, and great kid, great player, and I'm expecting him to level up even more this year because I know he can. And from what I've seen the last maybe month or so, it seems like he's doing that, kind of taking that initiative, just being a leader and not just a kid that can come out and score. I see him talking to his teammates a lot and just growing up a lot right in front of us. So I'm expecting him to have a huge year, especially at 5A level. I think it's good in a lot of ways. Not quite as much competition as maybe the top classifications, but that's a great chance for him to just go out there and destroy everybody. Which I tell him that when I see him. I'm expecting him to do that. So um, that's going to be a fun watch. I know they got a few people coming in there that are. I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to talk about it, but I know that they're already transferred in there. But I know that they're going to be another force to reckon with next season.
ParkRose is, yeah. Would you say that he's probably on maybe a short list of players that could win Player of the Year for the state next year?
Yeah, definitely a 5A player of the year for sure. If I'm not mistaken, I think the Lunan kid out in Bend plays 5A. I'm not 100% sure because they're so far away. Even though they got big schools out there, they got to play 5A. But I think Keon's definitely in the running for that. Maybe even for the Gatorade Player of the Year. He's that good. But I think Pat is going to have something to say about that. Maybe a couple other guys too.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate you. And then, I guess I got two more questions for you. What about, as we go into the summer, which AAU teams as a collective unit do you think people should be spending their time researching and watching this summer?
There's a number of very solid AAU teams now, which makes me happy because honestly there weren't for a little bit there for whatever reason. But I gotta show love on the girls' side too, because we got some of the best in the country, and we got a program called ML20. It's actually ran by one of my friends that I went to high school with, and they're one of the top girls programs in the country. They have several very high major caliber players on their team, but they're all really good players, and they're a fun team to watch play, just because they have great players at every position. So that's something that I think a lot of people should pay close attention to. And then you got there's a couple newer programs out there that I think are doing some good things. I've known some of the coaches at this OTP program that's relatively new. They got a lot of good players going through there, but there's some other good programs out there too. But those ones off the top of my mind are great on the girls' side. On the guys' side, Cascade Kings has a lot of good players from around this area that I've seen pretty closely, and Elite 24 has got some good players as well. That's where Gavin Lunan is playing right now. Rocco is playing there as well, I believe, and they're showing a lot of promise. So I know my guy Shay from Sunset is playing with Team Fly. So these are all programs that are always solid and definitely fun to watch. I enjoy watching all of them, and there's probably some that I left out, but those are the ones off the top of my head that I can see are going to probably have good summers.
Okay. And then I guess the last question for a high school, and then I got an NBA question for you, and then we'll wrap it all up. So on a high school level, why do you think the state as a whole, because like I told you, locally, I'm not really tapped in. I would say I'm more like nationally tapped in. Like I pay attention to a lot of other states, but not necessarily locally. Why do you feel like Oregon, or even more specifically, the Portland metro area, why do you think Oregon as a whole kind of gets a bad rap, like international, like nationally when it comes to basketball? Like we're not really known for hoops, compared to like Seattle or like obviously not California, but you get what I'm saying? Like we don't get the same love, but we've produced players, the last couple of years. We produced a couple guards coming out of here, I feel like we're more known for baseball and football players more so than basketball. Why do you think that is?
It's a small market situation that we don't get taken quite as serious as other major markets. Even though we're producing very high level players. More recently, like you were mentioning, Terrence Hill is blowing up right now. We all knew he was great, and he's going to be at Tennessee next year. We got great players. Jackson Shelstad was at Oregon. He was on the Nike Hoops Summit team. He was big time, and he's going to be at Louisville next year. We've got a lot of great players come out of here recently and over the course of the last 30, 40 years, there's been a lot of great players. So I think a lot of it is just, like I said, small market city. People don't respect it quite as much. And I know when I was coming up as a player, we loved that. And, a lot of the guys are just a little bit older than us would tell us, you gotta go out there and show them what we're about because they don't believe in you. And I had guys like Damon Stoudemire and Terrell Brandon that were already in the NBA and coming back and working out with us in the summer and telling us what we were about to encounter when we go out on these trips to play teams from other cities. So we were ready, and we love that challenge. It's a little bit different. The whole AAU landscape is now, but I like what I'm seeing from our city, from our state in general. There's a lot of good players on both the girls and guys side coming out of it, and I just try to stay positive when I know a lot of my friends from other parts of the country are talking noise about Oregon or Portland, and it's always fun to see guys are doing well, and I get to talk about them.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. And then my last question for you, NBA question: who do you have winning the NBA title?
Well, who do I have and who do I want might be two different things. I've always been a Knicks fan, outside of the Blazers, of course, but they're already out. But I've always been a Knicks fan, so I'm hoping they win. But what I'm seeing, and I hope it doesn't keep happening. I mean, it's hard for you to bet against OKC because they are so good. But after watching last night's game and seeing how unbelievable those officials were calling the game, I mean, I don't see them not winning. I mean, that's just how you can look at it. So if I was putting money on it, which I really don't bet very often, I'd put my money on OKC. San Antonio is really good. I just don't think they're as experienced as some other teams. But the team I'd love to see win this year would be New York. I'd love to see them win a championship.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Me and my friends, we've talked about it, and we were talking about how we've never seen the Knicks like in our lifetimes, win the title for one, but also just even get to the final. I think last time New York got to the finals was in the 90s? Wasn't that about the 90s against Hakeem and them, right? Was the last time he got there. So
yeah, exactly.
Like I said, in my lifetime, I ain't seen it, so, and just seeing how those New York fans react, like game after game, the Garden when it's rock, like it's a special thing, right? So
yeah, they're the crazy.
I'm pulling for the Knicks to get there at least, but like you, I do think OKC is going to win it. I just think they're an oiled machine. They do right now have been blessed to have the calls that have been called throughout the game. I also think. Exactly. I just think I think that's a bad guy, man. I just think he's just a bad man. And we don't see players come around with his skill set and with his efficiency often. So I just try to appreciate it. But I did see a video that the Lakers team as a whole after the game literally surrounded all the officials and was
I've never seen that.
That's what I've never seen such a thing, but it garnered a lot of attention on social media when I was on, and I seen it, and I was like, okay, so we'll see what happens moving forward in the series. But I want to thank you. for taking the time out of your day to join me on my podcast. Do you want to let the people know once more where they can find you?
Yeah, absolutely. And no, I had a great time. I always love doing stuff like this. Again, my company name is SS Visual Works, and you can find it on every major platform out there. That's where the most of our film is out there, whether it's social media or YouTube, that type of thing. And that's the way of the world now. I mean, just go on social media, you can find us.
Yeah, it is. Thank you for joining me, and PJ is out.
Later, guys.
Cool.